Hi, my name's Kent. Today we're going to be looking at what's new in CVAR 1.5. With the release of CVAR, it put the power of facial motion capture directly into the hands of anyone with an iPhone 10. CVAR 1.5 works with all devices that have Apple's True Depth camera technology. This now includes the iPhone 10, 10s, 10R, and 10s Max, as well as the new 2018 iPad Pro 11 and 12.9 inch models. With CVAR 1.5, we have added support for sharing. You can now easily send a capture to another C4D artist using any of the file sharing systems on your device, such as email, AirDrop, Dropbox, iCloud Drive, Google Drive, or any other sharing service. To share a capture, just click on the capture on your device and press the share icon on the bottom left. The capture is then compressed into a zip file, which you then share using the familiar iOS pop-up to send your captures to your colleagues. Once you have received a capture zip file, all you need to do is drag and drop it directly into the CVAR dialog. It will appear with an orange bar to indicate that this was transferred via a zip file. This is different to the QR code method, which is still there and has also been improved, and any captures transferred via the QR code method will still show up as green if they are fully transferred. When recording a capture, you can now also specify if you wish to record at 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. Recording at 60 frames per second will give you more capture data, which results in a smoother animation when playing back. Pressing the Set Timeline to Frame Count button will also change the document's frames per second to match the capture. In addition, you can also choose if you want to capture an image for every frame of your performance or just the very first frame. This will reduce the amount of memory used, as well as processing power when capturing, allowing for longer captures and making it easier to transfer them to Cinema 4D. If you have captures recorded with all image frames, or you have a capture recorded using CVAR 1.0, then when sharing you can choose if you wish to send a zip file containing all the image frames or just the very first image. With iOS 12, there is a new blend shape which tells you if the performer's tongue is in or out, and it also has new eye tracking abilities. Both of these are now supported directly in CVAR 1.5. The eye tracking now includes the position of the eyes, so you will no longer need to position them manually anymore, unless of course you want to, in which case you can simply uncheck the iOS 12 eye tracking checkbox. In this case, the rotation will be calculated directly from the blend shape data, but the position will no longer be set. To speed up your workflow for pose morphs, there is a new pose morph helper tag. This can be added manually to any polygon object, or you can create one directly from your current capture object. This can be used to automatically set up pose morphs for every blend shape, including all the espresso required, so you can immediately start sculpting and animating your characters. There is even a one-click button to create every pose morph and set up all the espresso in one go. However, if you wish to, you can add them one by one using the appropriately named button for each blend shape. In addition, you can calibrate the range mappers in your espresso by using a second capture where your performer has moved their face through all their expressive ranges. Simply drag and drop the capture into the Calibrate field and press the Calibrate button. Just make sure to not change the name of the range mappers, since the name is used internally to look them up when setting the calibration data. When calibrating, it will use the maximum and minimum values of each blend shape of the calibration performance to set these values in each of the range mappers. If you don't want to use Espresso, you can also bake the blend shape data directly into animation tracks to drive the strength of your pose morphs directly. This allows you to use all the regular keyframe animation tools to adjust your performance. One small feature is a new option to let you specify what direction your imported face should be initially pointing, with the default being down the negative Z axis. We've also exposed additional data that comes from ARKit in an extra data section of the capture object. These give you the general direction where the performer is looking and also an estimated light direction and intensity in your recorded capture. These can be used via Espresso in your scenes where needed. Just note that the look at direction is local to the face mesh, so this value should be driving the position of a null that is a child of the face mesh itself. The light direction, however, is in world space, and you can control a null that is a child of the capture object itself. You can now easily change what capture is driving your performance by simply dragging and dropping a new capture directly into the capture field. This will update the data that is driving all the blend shapes and other parameters, as well as the textures and sound for the performance. There is also a new help system with full documentation for CVAR. This can be accessed from the CVAR dialog or from a button on each of the CVAR objects, tags, or shaders. With CVAR 1.5, you can easily create animation of a performer's face, use it to drive the performance of a sculpted pose morph, or control a character completely via espresso and blend shapes. CVAR 1.5 now gives you the ability to capture longer, smoother performances at 60 frames per second, easily share those captures with other artists all around the world, bake out the data to keyframe animation, improved eye tracking and tongue detection, as well as new workflow tools to help you quickly set up your espresso and pose morphs. CVAR 1.5 is available for Cinema 4D R19 and R20 Studio editions, and the CVAR iOS app requires a device with a true depth camera running iOS 12.1 or greater. If you're not familiar with CVAR, be sure to check out the tutorial video by Donovan Keith on Cineversity. Download CVAR 1.5 and the CVAR iOS app today and get started on your next facial motion capture project.